You are listening to the Free the Moms podcast with me, Laura Conley. Hey guys, guess what? I'm bringing something super special to you this week. It is called the Drop 5 Pounds While Life is Lifing Challenge. I'm bringing it to the podcast because we did it last week over Voxer on Zoom, and it was just so good, so meaty, so juicy. People are losing so much weight, and so I wanted to bring it to you so it was so accessible and so easy to follow. So every single day, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, we're going to drop 5 pounds, but we're going to drop an episode that includes the things that you need to do in order to drop 5 pounds while life is lifing. So enjoy it. Let me know what you think. Pretty please leave a review. And if you know that this is your year, if you are ready to feel like yourself in your skin, sign up for the Yummy Mummy experience. We start January 20th. Go to lauraconley.com to get more info. Love you, babes. Okay, so welcome to day one of the Drop 5 Pounds While Life is Lifing Challenge. I'm so excited that you are here. And I know you guys are going to roll your eyes at me, but I want to first congratulate you for signing up for this challenge. I know that sounds silly, and I'm going to ask you to celebrate you signing up for this because it is a big deal. And celebrating that you've done this is showing your brain that, oh, this is something important. This is something good. Now, while we gave everybody this as a gift, you're still investing your time and your energy. So I want you to celebrate that for yourself. Celebrate it. You're putting yourself on the list. You're putting yourself, hopefully, closer and closer to the top of the list. So number one, first things first, is I want you guys to be celebrating yourself. That is number one. So you're going to actually have to tell me, you're going to email me back and you're going to tell me how you celebrated yourself for signing up for this. Okay? Step 2, we're going to lose 5 pounds. Now, some of you guys aren't going to lose 5 pounds because you only have 5 pounds to lose. Some of you guys are going to do 7 pounds. We had 2 women last time that did like 11 pounds, which was like shocking. But it could happen. Let's just hold the possibility. So day one is all about creating a plan. Now, some of you guys are going to freak out when I use the word plan because you're going to equate it to diet. But here's the thing. If you fail to plan, you plan to fail. I know it's cliche. I know everybody says it, but we're busy. We're busy women and moms. We are going to have to plan. This isn't just going to happen. If it was just going to happen, it would have happened by now. I promise you. So you are going to create your own unique, custom to you plan. These plans will look different from everyone else doing this challenge. And that's like on purpose for a reason. And the reason is if you don't have buy-in, if you don't know why you are doing what you are doing, if you're not co-creating your plan, you will quit. How many times have you been to a nutritionist or a dietitian or a personal trainer and they're like, here's your plan. Eat 6 ounces. I was just talking to somebody about this. Eat 6 ounces of protein and steamed veggies. Like, F that. First of all, barf. I want your food to taste good to you. It should be delicious, but we can do it in a way. We can have it both and, right? So you need a plan. And some people feel like all constricted and they don't like it. But what I teach in this methodology is healthy, happy restriction. I don't teach over restriction. I don't teach under restriction. Under restriction, that's not having a plan. That's eating whatever you want, whenever you want. It's like whatever's fast and easy. That doesn't work. For some of us, it used to work. But if we say we want to weigh a certain weight, winging it doesn't work. But over restricting also doesn't work, where we're like 135 grams of protein and 17,000 ounces of water, and I'm going to go to the gym twice a day, and I'm going to take all these supplements, and I'm not going to have any carbs and no wine. Like, no chocolate. That also doesn't work, because what happens physiologically is it sends you into the cycle of over-restriction. When you over-restrict, you create an over-desire inside your body. And you like literally like a beach ball under the water. You can't contain it. And that's why on Friday at 5:45, you're like 3 margaritas and 2 chip bowls in, right? We can't contain that desire. Nothing's wrong with you. You're not bad or wrong. It's just our biology, seriously. And so then what happens? You wake up on Saturday morning or the next Monday morning and you're like, oh my God, that was crazy. Then you decide to do some sort of crazy over restriction-y plan. So that's the cycle of over restriction. You over restrict, you create an over desire, then you overeat. Meanwhile, you're like overthinking the whole entire time, and so on and so forth. Over restrict, over desire, overeat, so on and so forth. So what works? If you look at like James Clear and you look at the science behind habit change, we need to make 1% incremental changes, which your brain hates. It wants to like sign up for the gym and the Pilates and the meal plan. No, it's 1%. It's this middle path of happy, healthy restriction. So you guys you're going to be in that middle lane. You're not going to over restrict and you're not going to under restrict, which is great news because you still get to have your chocolate or your wine or whatever like your thing is. There's room for that. So I also want to call out that anything else in your life that you've created that you love, babies. Some of you guys created some real cute babies. A marriage that you are really thrilled about. There's only like 3 of us here that have that one. I'm just kidding. Kind of. Right? Maybe your career, maybe your business, maybe your home, the way you've made your house a home. Seriously, that's a big deal. There is so much that you have created in your life, but you had to have restriction. Full discipline. Then, by the way, discipline just means to teach. You had to we restrict when it comes to our sleep. We restrict when it comes to our parenting, when it comes to our career. A lot of us, went to college, got advanced degrees. You restricted. You studied, right? You eventually go to bed. You go to bed at 10:30 because you know how you feel when you get 8 hours of sleep, right? So we're restricting in all other areas of our life. Why shouldn't we restrict a little bit, healthy, happy restriction when it comes to our health? We have to impart a little devotion, a little discipline, call it whatever you want. We have to be voting for our future selves in our today behavior if we want to get what we say we want. It's not just going to poof happen. But some of us get this conditioning that it should just happen. Like, we get this conditioning that like, you only live once. Oh, come on, enjoy life. And it's like, yeah, but I don't feel good in a body that isn't at its natural weight. So I teach healthy, happy restriction. And my clients love it because they're like, oh, this is the secret. This is the middle path. So I want to get your buy-in on, number 1, you got to celebrate yourself. Number 2, you need a plan. Number 3, you need that plan to have middle path, healthy, happy restriction. You need to be picking the plan, or at least we need to be co-creating that plan. And the plan needs to balance your hunger hormone, okay? Your plan cannot be calories in, calories out. It cannot be macros tracking. Cannot. It will not work. It won't. I'm sure you guys all have proof that that doesn't work. Now, it does work in the short term. And that's what's so effed up about it, is that it kind of works, but then you quit. Like, are you really going to count macros for the rest of your life? Like, no, you're not. You think you are on January 5th. You're like, yep, I'm really going to do it. I pinky promise I'm going to do it. No, you're not. So unless you're going to count macros, which you already have the proof that you're not, you need to balance your hunger hormone in order to weigh what you want, and permanently and effortlessly. Now, this week there will be effort, but eventually when you are in the flow and your hunger hormones are balanced, you are going to feel like not only are you going to weigh what you want, but your energy is going to be bananas. You're going to blunt. So we've been talking a lot about menopause, perimenopause symptoms. If you balance your hunger hormones, you also really give your sex hormones a huge boost. Okay. So what is hunger hormone balance anyways? Like, we're not hearing about that a lot. Now, what are we hearing about a lot though? GLP-1s, the Ozempics. We are hearing a lot about the injections. They are not wrong or bad. I have a lot of clients that are on them. I have a lot of clients that used to be on them. What do those do? They're balancing your hunger hormones. You can balance your hunger hormones without GLP-1s by eating in a certain way. That is actually the best way to eat. I promise you guys, if you stick with me for these 5 days, you are going to like the way that you eat and your life better than the old way. Like, it's not going to be worth. This is not a compromise. I pinky promise you guys. You have to trust me on that one. Okay. The question then becomes, okay, how do we balance our hunger hormones to lose weight? What are our hunger hormones? So your hunger hormones are, and I'm not going to give you a huge like science lesson. I can give you resources if you want to go down the rabbit hole and learn all about the science behind this. But I'll answer your questions. If you guys have questions, I can go into it. I actually kind of like to geek out on it. Anyways, your hunger hormones are insulin, leptin, and ghrelin. Every time you eat, your insulin rises. Now, when you eat starchy carbs, don't worry, I'm not going to take away all your carbs. When you eat starchy carbs, your insulin will spike. When you eat protein veggies, again, this is not a protein and veggie regimen, you get these nice rolling curves. So when you eat starchy carbs, like processed sugar, processed flour, ultra-processed foods. Now, a lot of you come to me and you're like, I already eat healthy. I don't eat processed foods. Stay with me. That was me too. I'm like, I already eat healthy like 95% of the time. It's sneaky, you guys. So what happens is when you eat those starchy carbs, you spike your blood sugar, which spikes your insulin. Insulin, no one teaches us this. When I say insulin, you probably think diabetes, right? But also, insulin is a storage hormone. So your blood sugar spikes, your insulin spikes, and it cues your body to store fat. Literally. It's so crazy. I can't believe that this is not like common knowledge. It should be. Anyways, store fat, store fat, store fat. And then it also doesn't allow you to release the fat on your body. And triple whammy, you also get a crash. That's bananas. So you become hormonally hungry. Have you ever had like a bowl of oatmeal or maybe like a pastry for breakfast and then like 2 hours later you're hungry? Or maybe you have like a big pasta meal and then the next morning you're like, how am I hungry? I eat so much. It's because you're riding this blood sugar roller coaster, which sucks. You become hangry. You're not that nice. At least that was me. Anyways, my point is we want gentle rolling curves of our hunger hormones, of our blood sugar. We don't want these big spikes and troughs. Because when you're like this, your body can use the fat on your body for fuel. This is called being fat adapted. It's called being insulin sensitive. Insulin resistant is these big spikes and crashes. 94% of Americans are insulin resistant, and thus we have an issue. Okay. So how do we balance our hunger hormones? How do we balance our blood sugar? We move away from processed foods towards whole foods. Okay. So in these, I'm obsessed with doing these challenges. In the Yummy Mummy method, in these challenges, now in the Yummy Mummy method, I will tell you that the platter is bigger. I give you more options. There's more things to play with. But with 5 days, I got to keep it simple for you because I got to get you on board. I can't confuse you. Not that the Yummy Mummy method is confusing at all. And I got to get the weight coming off of you. I got to help you. Okay. So for this week, the things that you can pick from, I'm going to give you 5 options. You can pick all 5 or you can pick 1 or 2. It's totally up to you. I contradict myself a little bit because on one hand, I'm like, pick all 5. Let's go. Momentum, momentum, momentum. But I don't want to send you into the land of over restriction. I also love the idea of the lowest, most effective dose. Like, what if you could just give up processed sugar and weigh what you want? Now, most people are going to have to do a little more than just one of the things. But going to James Clear, 1%. And what if we could like give up the rush? Like, what if we could let go of like the desperation? I pinky promise you, you guys, if you follow this method, you will get there once and for all. Okay. So what can you pick? I want you to begin to create your plan. Okay. So here are the 5 things. I'll put them in the chat too. And maybe I'll email them to you guys too. Okay. So you can pick 1, 2, 3, 4, or all 5. Okay. So no sugar, and that means no processed sugar. If your brain starts to go crazy, like everybody's brain, like, well, what about honey? What about like fruit? What about maple syrup? I'll talk to you about that in a second. No flour. Now, here's the other thing. I got to give you a caveat real quick. Some people hate the word no and makes them like get like diet culture-y. And so what I want to let you guys know is you can call it like, I'm going sugar free. And all people are like, I'm not sober, I'm alcohol free. Say whatever you want to say. I don't care. So you could say I'm sugar free. So no sugar, no flour, no eats after 8 p.m. or 7 p.m. or 9 p.m., whatever your time frame. No snacks, and 1 yummy mummy munchie. I recommend everybody includes 1 yummy mummy munchie. What is a yummy mummy munchie? It's a treat. It's one treat. So say you're like, okay, my plan is going to be no sugar and no eats after 8. I would recommend that you plan to have pasta when your family's going out for Italian on Friday, or you're going to your favorite steakhouse and they have your favorite creme brulee. That's a yummy mummy munchie. Something that's like, it's like a little treat. Now, here's the deal. Cheat days, like we used to do like when we were 22, or I did, I should say, or cheat meals typically don't work because they like send your hunger hormones into havoc. It wreaks too much havoc on your system. But something like a pasta, or like sometimes if I like really, I love like the brioche bun on like the burger, like that's what I'll choose, whatever. And your system can kind of get right back on to these rolling hills instead of sending you into the peaks and valleys. So pick what you want to pick. Decide, like, if you're feeling like you really have a lot of energy, it's a new year, and you really want to pick like all 5 or all 3, and you can also just pick 1. And don't make anything like better or worse. Like, it's not like moral, it's not like better. You're not going to get like a prize because you picked all 5. Okay. So, and you can sense, you could check in with your body almost on like, what is like correct and like right for me. You'll probably get a sense. No sugar, your brain's gonna be like, what about? And I want you to actually start answering the questions. You decide. Now I will help you, but typically what happens is we start asking all these questions and we're like, well, I don't know. And it sends us into confusion, and then we quit. Or like I always say, like, confusion always gets a cookie. So I always tell my clients, never let a question hang in the balance of your brain. Always answer it in a way that's supportive of you and what you want to create in your life. Okay, so I want you guys to pick what you're going to pick. Now, so much of the week that we're going to spend together, and if you're already in the Yummy Mummy experience, because I have a lot of clients that love to do these challenges, they just love it. You guys will come to understand that it's not, it is about the plan, but really what's important is the plan when the plan doesn't go to plan, right? What's really important is like, you're going to make a mistake. You might not make a mistake this week, but eventually you're going to make a mistake because you're a normal human being. This is another problem with diet culture, right? We're taught that if we don't do it perfectly, then what's the point? Like, it's not going to work. We're a failure with the scales up 2 pounds. Like, it's not throwing this out, right? Case of the effort. This methodology really helps you to build the muscle of every moment is a Monday morning moment of I am going to make mistakes. It's not a reason to let yourself off the hook, but you're going to make mistakes. How quickly can you get back on? How quickly can you learn from it and move on and not make it mean that you suck at life? Like, I made a mistake. I am not a mistake. Right? And so a lot of our work this week is going to be, okay, what is the plan when I do make a mistake? And we're going to talk about that. We're going to get really, really specific. So I don't want to overload you. Day 1 is all about how am I celebrating myself for signing up for, I know, again, it sounds crazy, for the challenge and picking my plan. That's really it. Tomorrow, we're going to talk a lot about like what could get in the way of your plan. We'll talk about why, like, why do you want to lose weight? Why do you want to love your body? Why do you want to heal your relationship with food? Because, well, I'll get into that tomorrow. But that part gets to me, really fun. Okay, but since we're on Zoom and we can go back and forth, do you guys know what your plan's going to be? And do you guys have any questions? Is there any resistance coming up? Do you want to talk through anything? Are you not sure about what sugar means for you? Sugar for me means no processed sugar. I do eat fruit. I love fruit. I don't do a ton of honey or maple syrup. If there's a little tiny bit of honey, or like my girlfriend, right? She came over last night. She made this beautiful salad. It was like some apple cider vinegar Dijon honey thing. Like, I'm not like, let's not be psychos. It was a tiny bit of honey and a tiny bit of dressing. Like, that's not going to spike my blood sugar. It's not. And that's what we care about. But also notice if your brain uses that as like a loophole of like, you know how our brains start to get like, well, it's like honey. It's like from the earth. Like, so you just get on to yourself, but walk that middle path. Okay, so what else did I want to say? For me, again, and you don't want to do what I do. You want to do what's right for you. But people always ask, well, I'm not sure about maple syrup. Well, what do you think? Like, let's check in. If maple syrup is like your wubby, like it is like your binky, like your stuffy, that is your favorite thing. Like my favorite thing ever is wine. Like I'm not going to give up wine. I'm not going to do it. And so I have a protocol that supports my wubby. My one wub, you can't have 18 wubbies though. Sorry. I mean, you can, like if you're my husband and he's weighed 165 pounds his whole fucking life. He just told me the other day, he's like, can you believe, like, I'm 165 today. This is like the lowest I'm usually 170. And he's like, I'm 165. I'm like, shut up. I don't really hear. But my point here is that if he has like, say 17, 18 food wubbies, he can keep them. It's not a problem for him. But for me, I get to have like my wine. You get to have your like dark chocolate or whatever your thing is. We can work it in. But like I had one client, you guys, oh my God, I love her so much. Kristen, she knows I tell the story. She loves her kids' fruit snacks. It's like the dumbest wubby, but she loves her kids' fruit snacks. And so she figured out a way how to integrate a couple fruit snacks every night. And it works for her. She can keep her hunger hormones balanced. Anyways, we have to get a protocol that works for you. Okay. So flour too. People want to know flour. What about chickpea flour? Again, it's like, where do you want to be on lowest, most effective dose? Like maybe you do no processed sugar and no wheat flour. I don't really love like the chickpea flours, the oat flours, all the other ones anyways. I do quote unquote allow almond flour, but I also love a really good pasta. So I just plan my week around it. I have my Yummy Mummy Munchie. Like I just had oh my God, this pasta was so good. It was like, so anyways, I just plan around it. I have one Yummy Mummy Munchie a week. You could do 2 a week. I recommend one. You do a teeny tiny one every day. If a lot of this feels like if you know you want to do no sugar and you know it's going to be a really big needle mover for you. So what I did, because I was like really kind of holding on tight with the sugar, but I knew I needed to give it up. So right at the beginning, I did like a tiny square of dark chocolate, like, I don't know, like, you know, a high percent, like 70 or 80%. And that just like helped me to take the edge off as I was getting started. And then I didn't give a shit because you will eventually not care. I promise. I know you can't believe me, but you eventually won't care. I pinky promise. You guys, if you know there's a needle mover, like a big needle mover that's not on the list, then you just get to add that. So we will cover portion size and we cover like really getting in tune with your hunger cues inside the Yummy Mummy experience, which I know you're doing. So like we're going to do a deep dive into that. But if you want to play with portions now, you totally can. Like we do this whole thing called the hunger scale. And I teach you how to like, this sounds so bad, but like right now, most of us are pretty in tune with, a lot of us are pretty in tune actually with our sleep cues. Like we know we're a little tired, we need a nap, but most all of us are in tune with our pee and poop cues. Like that's where we're going to get with our hunger cues. It's just that we've been conditioned to ignore our hunger cues. And our hunger hormones are most likely imbalanced. So like if you get a big crash, that is hormonal hunger, not true physical hunger. And so we're going to get really in tune with that. And we'll get in tune too with emotional hunger. Oh, I'm just like really craving comfort. And we have Band-Aids for it too. So I don't want to scare any of you guys. So like, for example, if every night at 8:30, you have like a big bowl of ice cream or a tiny bowl of ice cream or whatever, and you know that most likely it's not serving you and your weight loss goals or your health goals, oftentimes we'll replace it with like a cacao bliss drink. We'll put a little Band-Aid on it while we are learning how to, this sounds so cheesy, but how to comfort ourselves. I love emotional eating because it invites us into a deeper relationship with ourselves. There is a need that is not being met, or that is being met, but kind of in a crappy way. Ice cream, it does take the edge off. It does give you that comfort for 5 minutes. But what I am interested in you guys having is sustained comfort, comfort without the regret, stress relief without the hangover. And that's what I will teach you. And you will be so excited that you have this skill. It's like true pleasures versus false pleasures. It's delicious dopamine hits versus detrimental dopamine hits. And so we're going to deep dive on all of that, which just obviously excites me a lot. I'm very passionate about. But yeah, if you wanted to play with portions, you could play. You could make a rule around it. You could say, I'm going to use this size plate instead of this size plate. Or if you wanted to do it on the back end too, like, am I still hungry? Am I starting to feel full? Am I sated? The only tricky part too is, and I know it can sound diety to like go from a dinner plate to like a salad plate or something, but it is a tool that can work. And really, none of these things matter. It's just like in terms of how we label them, it's what works for me, what serves me when I drown out the noise of other people and diet culture. So you could try that, or you can just start checking in with yourself. How full am I? How satiated? How sated am I? And just getting into tune with that. I want you to know within the next couple minutes what your plan's going to be. But I do want to say, like, let's figure out how to have fun this week while we're doing this. Like, maybe you plan in some extra fun that isn't attached to food or even drinks. Like, I always tell a story, but my girlfriend one time, she was like, let's go celebrate with a hike. And I was like, this is like 10 years ago. And I was like, a hike? No, ew. Like, we're going to celebrate with like sugar. Now I'm kind of that girl that's like, let's go on like a 2-hour walk. But what you'll see is that you'll find your things. Like, mine's usually like walking or massage or whatever. You'll find your delicious dopamine. You'll start to find your true pleasures. And I'll give it to you. They're not going to give you the huge dopamine hit. They're not. But they don't leave you with the crash afterwards. And that's where it becomes worth it. And then you start getting addicted to, it's a soft, subtle addiction. You start getting addicted to your delicious dopamine or your true pleasures. And then you start to crowd out the other. So, and again, this is a lot. I'm like, really not, this is off topic, but who cares? Because it's good. Okay. Love you guys. You guys are the best. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Hey babes. Okay. Did you like it? What do you think? Let me know. Pretty please go leave a review for the podcast, because my dream is to free 1 million moms, and I'd love to have you help me, or share this episode with somebody who you know is maybe struggling. And remember, go to lauraconley.com and book a call with me if you're on the fence, or just straight sign up for the Yummy Mummy experience. It's my 6-month group coaching and course that literally guarantees you lose weight for the last time or your money back. So if 2026 is the year where you are excited to go shopping, shopping in your closet, where you're excited to wake up and do your day, where, dare I say, you're excited to go down the water slide with your kids at the pool this summer. If your summer was not as good as you wanted it to be last year because of the way that you felt about food in your body, you have to start now, and you have to be willing to get help and accountability. And that's what the Yummy Mummy provides. I'll see you inside.